to today's episode of Juice in the Numbers. I'm your host, Joshua Tracy.
And I'm Corwin and Josh.
And we're going to be talking about just some shit today. Sound good to you?
Yeah, I like talking about shit.
So right now we're recording this on Sunday night, around 8:40, so the game is still going. The World Series Game 5 is underway. Astros are currently leading the Nationals as we talked about this, but also the series is tied 2-2, so no clinching that we have to worry about for tonight. Just clinching, no clinching. Let's just jump in and talk about the World Series to start. What have your impressions been of this series thus far?
I feel like the Nats got a little lucky games 1 and 2 with just how convenient their hits seemed to be. They didn't seem very sustainable. And then once they, had that day off, games changed, and, Astros kind of took advantage. Their hitting has seemed to be a lot more consistent and steady. Yeah, it's been an interesting series to say the least.
Yeah, I don't even know what to make. It just, those first two games just threw you off. It was, for a hot second, your reactionary brain had to have been like, oh fuck, the Nationals are just going to sweep the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I know that's not a realistic thought, but that thought had to have crossed a lot of people's minds, even for an instant, before you said, no, that's foolish. No one sweeps the World Series. But Fuck, it was looking like it for a goddamn second.
Oh, yeah. They looked very good. Very, very good. And I don't know what I was trying to say there. Kind of fell apart on me. But, yeah, they have not looked great since.
Now, on the other hand, if I ask you in a vacuum, do you think the Nationals will win the Max Scherzer game? Probably say yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I ask you if they're going to win the Steven Strasburg game, you'd probably say yes.
Yeah, I'd say that. More likely than not, in my mind.
If I asked you if they're going to win the Anibal Sanchez game?
No.
Yeah, but you know. And if I asked you if they were going to win the Patrick Corbin game?
It depends who it would be against. If it's Greinke, I would say I would lead more towards Greinke. If it was just, I don't know.
In this case, it was the bullpen game.
Yeah, so bullpen, then I would hand it to Corbin, no doubt.
Well, you would have gotten 3 out of 4 of those right, because the Nationals ended up winning the Scherzer game by the skin of their teeth, but they still won it.
Yep.
They won the Strasburg game rather handedly. They lost the Sanchez game in what 4-1 can be close and it cannot be close. It depends on how the game was played. This was a close 4-1, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got wrecked in the Corbin game.
Yeah, that was ugly. That was just kind of everything kind of coming together for the Astros, and everything that could go wrong for the Nationals kind of did.
Yeah, they just fell apart in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Fernando Rodney, I mean, no more words should really need to be said after that. But he fucked it all. He got the bases loaded on himself, let up a grand slam, and then got the bases loaded again.
It's almost as if, 47-year-old pitchers shouldn't be put in high leverage situations. Granted, he has a ton of experience in high leverage situations, so that might be a big factor for them. But at the same time, it's not the same Fernando Rodney of the past 10 years or 10 years ago. It's a much older and, in my mind, a lot less reliable the past couple of years. So,
and now we're playing. So today was supposed to be the Scherzer game. We can get into that in a second. But now they're pitching. I want you to guess. Do you have any idea who's pitching tonight for the Nationals?
For the Nationals, I know it's Joe Ross, just because I saw that earlier.
Yeah, I didn't know who that was, so I have his baseball reference page up. He's been in the league apparently for 5 years.
Yeah, he was on the Padres for a little while and made some headlines when he first, kind of broke out, but it's not been a storied career by any means.
His major league appearances are only with the Nationals, so maybe he was a Padres prospect at some point.
Am I thinking of someone else?
Possibly. I didn't know who he was up until today, but his Baseball Reference page only has him in the pros.
Oh, I'm
with the
thinking of
Nationals.
Tyson Ross.
Oh, yeah. Tyson Ross. He's on the Tigers now, I think.
I actually don't know.
Because I don't think he was with the Pod. That doesn't matter. So Joe Ross has a career ERA of 4.29. This year, his ERA was 5.48 in the regular season.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if you look up pictures of Tyson Ross and Joe Ross next to each other, if you asked me this an hour ago, I might not have been able to tell the difference. They look very similar.
Do you think they're related?
I mean, I could find out. Guess I don't see why I wouldn't be able to.
Because that'd be pretty cool. Tyson you know Ross. What? The Padres did draft Joe Ross.
Hey. Oh, yeah. No, they're brothers.
They are brothers?
Yeah.
Yo, that's so fun. The Padres had Joe Ross and Tyson Ross?
That's pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
And now the Cubs have David Ross.
I bet the Padres were hoping for like a Sedin's situation where they become like 1 and 2 in the rotation, and instead they got nothing.
Or a Konsenko one where they hide Joe Ross or Tyson Ross in the other one's uniform and sneak him into some games.
Perfect. So Yordan Alvarez did something. Oh, 2-run home run.
I just put the game on, so I haven't seen anything.
I just got a notification about it. Oh, that must be old because it's still 2-0. Yeah, it doesn't matter. All right. So Scherzer got sidelined because of neck spasms. Is that what it was?
Yeah, neck and back.
And I saw a thing that said it hurt so bad that his wife had to like help him get dressed today.
Yeah, he said in an interview today that he couldn't lift his arm.
What happened?
I have no idea. Like, this is really the first I've heard of anything.
He had to have been playing through this earlier because there's no way this just happened. Like, he woke up today.
Right.
Like, he had to have been keeping those under wraps during his first appearance in the World Series. And I'd assume this would even possibly date back to the NLCS because something that severe doesn't just like crop up, you know?
And it's, he did not look the same old self when he was pitching in game 1. Like, he did not look sharp. He let up a lot more base runners and, big time hits than he usually does. And you could just tell he wasn't the same Max Scherzer that you expected him to be, especially on this stage.
Yeah, he only went 5 innings. He let up 5 hits, 3 walks, 2 runs, both earned, and did get 7 strikeouts. But that's not quite the Scherzer-ish line you'd expect.
Right.
Which is crazy because it's still a decent line.
Right.
For the World Series, it's a good line. It's not
something that should sink you to a major extent, But with the kind of player he is, with all that energy, especially in big moments, I kind of expected him to come in and just absolutely tear through the Astros, just be the Max Scherzer we've seen the past couple of years, and it just never accumulated.
Yeah, those 2 runs, if I recall correctly, were both in the first inning, and then he kind of settled down from there. But yeah, it's just not the Max Scherzer we all know. So this now leads let's assume that this Joe Ross game, let's take a wild assumption that the Nationals lose this game.
Yeah, I would take Garrett Cole over Joe Ross 100 times out of 100, actually.
And so that makes the next game Strasburg-Verlander again?
Sounds about right.
Do you take Strasburg again in that? First game back in Houston.
I would say, honestly, that I would give it a little bit more for Verlander. I know Strasburg outpitched him last time, but Verlander didn't look terrible the first time he was up, and I kind of expect him, being the player he is, to kind of get back to Houston, get settled, and dominate.
Now, what if I told you, and this could be a meaningless statement, which is why I want your opinion on it, that Justin Verlander has the third worst World Series ERA of all time?
When was the last time Justin Verlander, I don't know. I realized that he played in it, very recently, but at the same time, it's not like he has a huge sample size recently. And I don't think it's, especially when he's that good. You don't expect a tremendous player of Verlander's Hall of Fame caliber to kind of always suck in the postseason. Like Kershaw got that reputation, but at the same time, he came back and has been very good the past couple times he's appeared.
Yeah, Kershaw's kind of a weird story because he's always going to get noticed for sucking, and then he'll never get recognition for not sucking. And if he has one moment that sucks amongst the start that's otherwise really damn good, everyone will just point at the moment that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't think it means anything either. But his ERA in the World Series, if I recall correctly, is somewhere around 5.5. And that's over this World Series, the 2017 World Series, and the 2013 World Series. So it's around, I think it's almost 10 starts in the World Series. So say what you want about it. I don't think it matters much either.
No.
But
I honestly can't remember the last appearance he had in the World Series before this year. Like off the top of my head, I can't remember whether or not he performed well, absolutely blew up, or just kind of got BABIP to death. So it's hard to say.
You know what's funny? I don't remember his 2017 World Series appearance at all.
Yeah.
I have zero recollection of it. And I don't know why, but it's not in my head. On the other hand, though, like Strasburg's also, not only has he has a really solid playoff history, but this year in particular, Jesus Christ, he's been on a tear. So I want to say it's even enough that the Nationals conceivably could still win that game. But if this were to go to 7 games, so assuming the Nationals lose tonight, and then the Nationals win on Tuesday night, who the fuck? Patrick Corbin pitches Game 7 for the Nationals?
I'd have to imagine he pitches on short rest. I wouldn't trust it to a bullpen game in Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah, it's either going to be that, some combination of him and Anibal Sanchez.
Yeah.
Now, you could bank on, well, hey, maybe Scherzer's feeling well enough to throw in 4 days. But, I mean...
Listen, if you can't lift your arm up, like if you can't even dress yourself in the morning, I can't imagine building up enough strength and be able to hold the pain together to pitch at a high level the way they need him to. I think his season's done unless there's a miraculous turnaround or, Matt Harvey type situation.
So if the Nationals end up losing on the back of this recent injury from Scherzer, do you think that's going to be the storyline, or do you think it'll be, hey, look how good the Astros are. They did it. They won the World Series, something many people thought that they would. Or do you think the line's going to be like, wow, if Scherzer didn't get hurt, the Nationals totally would have won this World Series?
I feel very strongly that it's going to be wow, the Astros are a full-on dynasty. The Nationals outperformed what they should have been, and it's unfortunate that Scherzer got hurt, and it's always going to be a what-if situation. I don't think it's going to be held against either team. I think it's just going to be like, well, everyone expected from Game 1 that the Astros were going to win the World Series. They've played as excellent as we've expected them to play, under the circumstances. And, Scherzer might have changed things, but at the end of the day, the Astros are just from the top down, exceptionally talented team that just the Nationals can't honestly stand up to in a long series.
I think that's far more rational than we will see the reactions to.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Colin Cowherd and the Talking Heads will have a field day. Does Mike Francesca give a shit about the World Series, or is he just full on Knicks and Giants?
Oh, he. The thing that's so annoying about Mike Francesa is that he seemingly does and doesn't care when it's like convenient to him. So like he's gonna say some bullshit because the thing is he thinks that if you offered him the GM position of like any baseball team ever, he would win the World Series every year.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I think he's even said once before, like he could GM the Yankees. Okay. And the thing about Mike Francesa is he fucking sucks. Yeah. God damn it, he fucking sucks. Everyone listens to his show fucking sucks. His opinions fucking suck.
He's probably my least favorite TV talking head about sports. Like he is the perfect embodiment of everyone's stereotypical stubborn ass father who played, high school sports and thinks that he could have, he could pitch game 7 of the World Series or, he could win a Super Bowl with the fucking Dolphins this year if they just signed the right free agent players.
Right. Regardless of fucking salary or salary cap or anything. Yeah, fuck them. The thing that drives me crazy, like give me Stephen A. Smith over Mike Francesa every single time. Because the difference is Stephen A. Smith is putting on a show. And he knows he's putting on a show. And I really don't think, first off, I actually think if I've listened to Stephen A. Smith's show a whole bunch because it comes on right before the Michael K. show, and I love the Michael K. show. And Stephen A. Smith, I think 90% of the time, his takes are not that egregious. Nope. But the ones that get put up on Twitter about look how crazy that is because one, they are egregious, and then two, it's because he's just so bolsterous the way he says it.
Right.
But he's not actually that out there for most of the things he says. No. He just builds it the fuck up. Francesa, on the other hand, oh my God, he says outlandish things, but it's just so smug, so matter of fact.
Oh, the smugness is spot on. He'll make stuff up, and then as soon as other outlets start talking about it and talking about some other aspect of it, or no, it's definitely not this, it's this. He's like, well, I've thought that the whole time.
He did that with Daniel Jones this year.
Yeah. Oh, that was the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, why are the Giants drafting Daniel Jones? He sucks. I've watched all of his tape at Duke. Which first off, no, you fucking didn't.
Yeah.
And then Daniel Jones goes on to win that one game against Tampa. And then he was like, everyone knows Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. He's got a good arm. I've watched all the tape at Duke.
Yeah.
I've been saying the whole time, he's got a great arm. He's a good quarterback. And then it's like, Bud, my God.
I remember it vividly because the whole pre-draft process, he was talking about how Daniel Jones, he's got the mind, but his arm it sucks. He just doesn't have the arm for the NFL. And then that first big win comes and he's like, everyone knew he had an arm. We all saw the arm. We watched all the film. He has the arm. It was everything else around that people weren't sold on. And it's shut the fuck up, dude. But I mean, Stephen A., I respect him because he's capable of original thought. And he knows his shit when it comes to the NBA. And when big things happen, serious things happen, it's, he can turn off the character of Stephen A. Smith, stay off the weed, and be able to say, all right, so this is what's going down. This is crazy. I don't know what's going to happen here, but this is what you should be looking at, stuff like that. Francesca is just, the switch is on all the time.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty nice. He fucking just anyway. I found Justin Verlander's career World Series ERA. Do you want to know what the 5 worst World Series ERAs are?
Yes, all time.
All time.
Is this single World Series or career World Series?
Career World Series.
Gotcha.
All right, so the worst World Series pitcher is Don Newcomb, Dodgers legend. Okay. Don Newcomb, winner of the first ever Rookie of the Year award, winner of the Cy Young award, winner of a MVP award, one of only 2 pitchers to have done that. Winner of Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Cy Young. Don Newcomb, an 8.59 World Series ERA.
Do you know who those other guys were who have those 3 accolades?
There's only one other pitcher who has it, and I do know who it is.
Should I guess?
You want to guess?
Rookie of the Year, MVP, and what was the third one? World Series? Oh, Cy Young. That would make sense. Cy Young, MVP. Is it Clayton Kershaw?
It is not Clayton Kershaw. I don't think he won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, that was the only thing holding me up. I can't really say I know rookies of the year going past, 2-3 years ago, but who was it?
Hold on 1 second. I just want to find Clayton Kershaw's.
See where he finished.
Yeah, because it must have been high,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He got
MVP.
no votes.
He got no votes?
He did not get.
Is that
any
his
votes
official rookie year?
So in 2008, he pitched 107.2 innings. So I have to assume that counts because 107 innings is a lot of innings.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. And then there's nothing in 2009 and there's nothing in 2010 either. I gotta
look this up.
Which is nuts. So it's not Clayton Kershaw. It is actually, crazy enough, Justin Verlander.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That would have been a very good guess. I just, there's no way I would have remembered who won Rookie of the Year his first season.
Yeah, that's the tough one.
It's was I alive when he started pitching?
Verlander? Yeah, for sure.
You sure?
Yeah, because I think, God damn it. I think he started.
Dude, I am 22 years old. There's no way he's been pitching for 22 years.
Yeah, that's another good way of looking at it. That's a truth fact. I want to say 07, 05. Yeah,
he did not have great numbers his rookie year. Next 2 years, very good numbers still. But
his rookie year, he had a 3.63 ERA. Oh, you're looking at Kershaw?
Yeah.
My bad.
Sorry, I probably should have prefaced that.
Oh, no worries. All right. So anyway, Don Newcomb, 8.59 ERA. That's super high. It's super duper high. Second worst World Series ERA is Carl Erskine.
No, fuck. Good luck.
Carl Erskine with his 5.84 ERA.
Is that Adam Sandler's name of his character in Uncut Gems? Because that sounds pretty spot on.
I've never heard of Uncut Gems.
Oh, it's Adam Sandler's new drama movie coming out, and everyone's like, "Is Adam Sandler gonna be a nominated Oscar? Nominated
it's
Oscar?
It's the one that
nominee?
Mike Francesa's is in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh God,
it all comes back.
Pulling it all back together.
Funny enough, Carl Erskine, another Dodger, I think in the same time period as Don Newcomb. Yeah, another guy right there, which probably is contributing factor to the Dodgers losing a lot of World Series in that time period. They'd always get there and then just fuck it up. Third worst all time is Hank Borowy with a 5.76 ERA. Any guesses for what team Hank Borowy played for? I don't even know who this is.
Yeah, no idea.
Hank Borowy played for the Yankees, Cubs, Phillies, Pirates. So he was everywhere. He started with the Yankees, then the Cubs, then the Phillies, then the Pirates, then the Tigers. Well, he actually won a World Series, has an ERA title, and a 2-time All-Star. Good for you, Hank Borowy. Yeah, but apparently he sucks in the World Series. Yeah. He also pitched in time period. I'm curious. 42 to 51. So far, all of these guys have been that time period. All right. Number 4 on the list is Justin Verlander with a 5.73 ERA. All right.
That's not good.
It's not good. 5.73 is not good.
From 1 to 4 dropping by roughly 3 ERA. That's a big deal. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, that says a lot about from 1 to 2. From 1 to 2 is a 2.75 drop.
Yeah, that's fucking massive.
Yeah, it's enormous. And then number 5 is Don Sutton with a 5.26 ERA in the World Series. He played for the Dodgers for 14 years and then played for Houston and then Milwaukee and then Oakland and then the Angels and then the Dodgers again. He played for 23 years as in the Hall of Fame as an All-Star MVP, 4-time All-Star, and an ERA title. So he's really fucking good.
It's funny how all these, really shitty World Series pitchers are Hall of Famers.
It's also funny how 3 out of 5 of them are Dodgers.
Yeah, all right.
He pitched from 66 to 88. 66 to 88. Wow, that's an eternity. And so by far the most recent one is Justin Verlander, as he's the only one remotely still active. The next closest to him played 30 years ago. Retired 31 years ago.
What's the next highest active guy? Can you see that? Or
no, I only have these 5 in front of me. And this is with a minimum of 5 World Series starts.
Okay, so that's a pretty decent sample size too.
Yeah, it's enough of one, I guess. Again, it's
you never want to judge a pitcher off of 5 games, but 5 World Series appearances is a lot for the World Series. Is it appearances or starts?
Starts.
Okay, that's even bigger.
Yeah. So again, I don't know what you would make of that. Because I don't know about you, but I'm usually a Kershaw postseason defender. Like I'm usually like I get that he somehow manages to keep having bad starts in October, but I can't believe in this mentality that he's not a good postseason pitcher when he's one of the greatest regular season pitchers. He's probably I'll just hedge my bet. One of the greatest regular season pitchers of my generation. I just can't believe that he's always going to suck in October. There's not something just an anomalous about it. And I'm willing to say the same thing for Verlander, because why wouldn't you? But I mean, damn, it's kind of nuts,
Yeah. So speaking of potential Hall of Famers playing in the World Series right now for the Astros, Jose Altuve, how would you rate his performance so far?
If they win the World Series, he'll probably be MVP.
I'd agree to that completely. Honestly, I don't know who else they could possibly give it to at this point.
Well, Robinson Chirinos has hit home runs in back-to-back games for some reason. I don't know why he's doing it.
At the same time, here's a little stat for you. Jose Altuve has reached base safely in 25 straight postseason games, tied for third as the third longest streak, tied with Pablo Sandoval and Boog Powell. Only Chase Utley and Miguel Cabrera have longer streaks.
Yeah, Miguel Cabrera is 31, right?
He is. Chase Utley's at 27, so Altuve could potentially tie this. Yeah, if it goes to 7 games, he could tie it, but he won't be able to beat it quite yet this year.
Yeah, he's been fucking killing it.
Regardless, that is an insane streak.
This is just so funny. So Jose Altuve right now has an OPS of 950. Phenomenal.
Is that World Series, postseason?
Oh, sorry, you're right. World Series.
Gotcha. That's pretty great.
You know what's funny is that's 4th on the team. Can you name the 3 people ahead of him?
I'm going to go with Carlos Correa at number 1.
No, Carlos Correa currently with a World Series OPS of 478.
Yikes! I guess
Carlos Correa with
last game.
2 hits in the World Series thus far.
Are you serious? Only 2?
15 at bats, 2 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts. I just
watched him get like 4 hits last night.
With a 133 batting average, a 278 on base, a 200 slugging for a 478 OPS.
Was I very inebriated?
That's probably a yes. All right, Corwin, name a player.
Fuck, I don't know. Robinson Chirinos, probably. He's
fucking Robinson Chirinos has the highest OPS on the team, 1364.
That's really ridiculous.
Robinson Chirinos has a 1,000 slugging.
Oh yeah, you're right. He has been really awful this series.
And he's batting 364.
Who, Chirinos?
Chirinos. Yeah, with not a single walk, so his OBP is also 364. But like Robinson Chirinos is having a series right now. Yo, hold on real quick. You know what's crazy?
Sure.
I need to know why.
Okay.
Robinson Chirinos right now has a win probability added of 6. 0.06, but like just for the sake of speed, 6. What do you think Altuve's is?
Win probability added?
Yeah.
Probably, I would say like an 8, 9.
Negative 14.
What?
Yeah, I don't get that.
How is this calculated?
Ooh, you know what? He has an error and a caught stealing.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. I don't know why it would be negative 14% though.
Well, I'm going to assume it's because over the course of a season, like one error isn't going to amount to much in all of your plate appearances and all of your games. Same thing with one caught stealing.
Right.
But in 4 games, that means that he's only stealing base at 50% success rate. So he's been caught 50% of the time, which is really fucking bad. And he's committed errors in 25% of his games played.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I have to assume it's a percentages thing. Anyway, all right. So Robinson Chirinos is 1. You got another one for me?
Bregman and Springer are going to be up there.
Nope. Bregman is not doing bad. He's an 819 OPS. Springer though. Oh, where are you, George Springer? Because I don't think you've been doing hot. Scrolling. Oh no, he's been doing okay. 900 OPS.
Okay.
I'm just going to give you these last 2. You're never going to get them.
Thank you. Is one Michael Brantley?
One of them is Michael Brantley.
Yes. All right.
Michael Brantley just beating out Jose Altuve's 950 with a 997. The other one, and there was just no way you're going to get this because he has 1 hit this whole postseason, and in only 4 at bats, Martin Maldonado.
I got it right.
I didn't hear you say it. Yeah, he
said Martin Maldonado.
Yeah, he has 4 at bats, and his 1 hit was a home run.
Yeah, I remember that one. I thought it was Chirinos at first, and I was like, wow, okay, this guy. And then I was like, oh, nope, wrong catcher.
So he has a 250 batting average, a 250 on base percentage, a 1,000 slugging for a 1250 OPS, which is nuts.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
It's hilarious. And you know what his win probability added is?
Negative 13.
Negative 11.
Really? This is ridiculous. I mean, it just goes to show what we talked about, before the series started. Just the Astros kind of have the depth to kind of make up for guys who are in slumps. When the Nationals were hot the first 2 games, well, hot enough the first 2 games, it didn't really matter. And, when they slumped, they really slumped. And, Houston's have had these not superstar guys be able to pick up the slack for them.
Real quick, just to jerk off the win probability added a little bit more. George Springer currently leads the win probability added column for the Astros with 21, which is 3 times as much as second place. And it has to be because of the 2 stolen bases he has.
I feel like we should look into that stat more because I feel like errors definitely play a big part, but I feel like stolen bases really shouldn't be weighted that heavily, I feel like.
I do not
when we
know.
Talk about a guy like Springer who has had a good postseason, good World Series, but nothing spectacular, having a plus 21, and a guy like Altuve who's been just uber consistent with, a caught stealing and error having a negative 14. That's a huge difference, man.
So I'm going to read you Springer's line and then Michael Brantley's line because Michael Brantley is one of the 2 guys tied for second with 7. And let's just look at it. So 4 games played for each.
Mm-hmm.
Springer has 16 at bats. Brantley has 17 at bats. So just about the same.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Both of them have 3 runs scored. Springer has 4 hits. Michael Brantley has 8 hits. Springer has 1 double. Brantley has none. Springer has 1 home run. Brantley has none. Springer has 2 RBIs. Brantley has 2 RBIs. Springer has 4 walks. Brantley has 2. Springer has 4 strikeouts. Brantley has 1. So Brantley has only gotten singles, all 8 hits, but only all singles. So there's probably not going to be as much value attributed to those as we would expect. Springer has gotten 4 hits, but 2 of them have been for extra bases. 1 of them was for a home run. So maybe we can just push that. Does that seem fair?
Sure.
So that means Springer would have 2 bases on the singles, 2 bases on the 1 double. So that's 4 bases, 8 total bases. Yeah, it's 8 bases to 8 bases. So that evens out.
Yeah.
Both of them have 2 RBIs. So that evens out. Springer has double the walks of Brantley, but also 4 times the strikeouts. Did we care? Do you think walks are definitely valued higher than strikeouts are negative?
They should be.
They should be. So that could be a thing right there. Plus the fact that Springer's at bats is, granted, one lower. Maybe that one, just based on, again, the way percentages are going to shake out, is not noticeable. And then the fact that Brantley has 1 stolen base to Springer's 2, both of them have 0 caught stealings and 0 errors. It seems like a stretch, but with such small sample sizes, I have to assume that small fluctuations are going to, or small differences will lead to larger fluctuations. Right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
All right. We talk about the Astros a lot. You want to talk about the Nationals?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right. Okay. Oh, wow. Michael A. Taylor. What do you think his OPS is?
Bad.
Oh, buddy, you're so wrong. You ready?
Okay. I'm assuming it's very, very good then.
I want you to guess. I need you to guess.
Fucking. All right, I'm going to shoot for the moon here and say that it's 1,800.
It's more than double that. It's 5,000.
How many fucking at-bats does he have?
He has 1, but he hit a home run.
Yeah, fuck off.
1 game, 1 at-bat, a run scored, a hit. That hit was a home run, 1 RBI. That's hilarious.
God, he doesn't look like he could hit a baseball bat over the or hit a baseball bat over the pitcher's mound. That's what I meant to say.
Dude, that's so fucking funny. Oh man, there's some funny numbers here. Like, what do you think Matt Adams' on base percentage is right now?
I have no idea.
It's 1,000.
Yeah, 1 at bat,
0 at bats, 1 walk, 1 plate appearance, 1 walk. Same thing with Brian Dozier. That's so funny. All right, I'm gonna look at win probability out for them. Currently led by Juan Soto.
Naturally.
Yep. Second place is Kurt Suzuki, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, he has been unstoppable this series, at least defensively.
Yeah, defensively he's been really good. Offensively he's been okay. 773 OPS is not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad.
He had that home run in game 1, game 2, right?
I want to say it was game 1 because it was a difference maker, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I don't remember when it was. It's all already blending all together for me.
You know, he's the only, this is so specific, but I thought it was kind of neat, only Hawaiian-born player to ever hit a home run in the World Series.
That's really cool. I can't imagine that there's been a lot of chances for Hawaiian-born players to.
Neither can I.
But that's pretty cool that you're the first at something.
Yeah, of all the Hawaiian-born players to play in the World Series, I'm glad it was Kurt Suzuki.
Of all of the, Asian American Hawaiian-born players who hit right-handed or whatever he hits while playing catchers for a National League team, he's the first one to hit a home run in the World Series. Who would have thought?
Who'd have thunk it? I don't really have anything impressive to say about the Nationals as of right now. Juan Soto's been good. He has a 1087 OPS. Adam Eaton's been good. He has a 1071 OPS. Mm-hmm. Outside of that, no one over 900. Asdrubal Cabrera's pretty close at 890. But Gerardo Parra is at, these are all OPS numbers just for reference, is at 333. Trey Turner, 417. Howie Kendrick, 429. Who else is supposed to be good? Anthony Rendon. 631. Ryan Zimmerman has a higher OPS than Anthony Rendon right now at 732. Now, if Ryan Zimmerman had a higher OPS than Anthony Rendon, and Ryan Zimmerman's OPS was like 1,100, you go, all right, Ryan Zimmerman. You know? Yeah, right. And like Rendon's was like 900. Like, you wouldn't care. It'd just be like, oh, wow, Zim's really killing it in the postseason.
Or if you told me this after like game 1.
Yeah, some weird small sample size thing. But the fact that Ryan Zimmerman's at 732 OPS 4 games in and is like pacing Anthony Rendon at 631, that's fucked.
Yeah. Just goes back to the depth conversation. When your stars don't perform, who's going to pick up the slack?
Yeah.
I mean,
nobody.
Come on. How old is Ryan Zimmerman right now? Like, can you really expect him to keep up these numbers consistently and be your, second best hitter?
So actually, I just want to deviate for 1 second. I was watching the World Series with Greg and Caroline the other day, and I was talking about Ryan Zimmerman because, the first National, he was the first guy, Nationals number 1 draft pick after they moved from Montreal. and he's been playing forever. So I had the question pop into my mind that I hadn't thought of before. Is Ryan Zimmerman a Hall of Famer? And so I went over to his baseball reference page, and I'm going to share it with you in a moment. But do you have any first impressions on that question? Have you ever thought about it before?
I mean, I can't say that I've seen enough of his career or know enough about his career to say definitively, but what I have seen, I can't say that he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's the kind of the vibe I've always gotten. I've always gotten like the good, not great, but consistent guy. You know what I mean?
He's one of those guys where it's like when he's on your team and he's one of your, he was the face of your franchise when you moved to Washington as your first overall pick. Not first overall, I think it was third overall, but like first round pick. You love him, like there's an emotional connection there, but has he ever been the superstar on your team? No. And at this point, I don't think that's enough to warrant a Hall of Fame career, and especially after looking at his baseball reference page.
Are you looking at it now?
I just brought it up. I didn't really look into it. I just kind of saw the accolades and whatnot,
and kind of the lack thereof, which is what I was surprised about, because you hear, at least I've heard a lot about him, especially over the last few years, because he's been starting to get towards retirement age, and he's probably is going to retire after this season.
I was going to ask you after this what your thoughts are about him retiring after this, whether or not they win or not.
I think he probably will. He was hurt this year. He only played 52 games. He was hurt last year. He only played 85 games. He was healthy in 2017, 2016, but he was hurt in 2015. He was hurt in 2014. So out of the last 6 seasons, he's only played like 2 full-ish seasons.
Right. So, it's not like he's just turning 30 either. Like he just turned 35. Like how much longer do you expect that career to go?
And it's not like he's at a high value position anymore, because he was a third baseman, but then when Rendon got brought up, they brought him up at third and they moved Zim over to first, and first base shouldn't be a tough spot to fill in theory for you. First base should be a relatively easier spot for you to move an aging outfielder there, man. It's not. If you want Howie Kendrick to get more at bats for some reason, you can do, like, a lot of players can just kind of figure out first base. It's not an earth-shatteringly difficult position to play defensively, so there's not even much of a need there. But what I was so surprised about is just how not studded this baseball reference page is. He has 2-time All-Star, 1-time Gold Glove, 2-time Silver Slugger, and that's it. He finished second in Rookie of the Year. He finished 25th, 16th, 24th, and 20th in MVP voting, so no top 10 finishes.
No top 15 finishes.
No top 15. He led the league in grounding into double plays once, and that's the only thing he ever led anything in.
He led it in games in 2007 with 162. Thank you. So,
yeah, and he was tied with probably 900 other ball players. Yeah. So it's like,
fuck.
On the one hand, there's the story. Like I think he's going to go into Nationals Hall of Fame.
Hey, Josh. What was Carlos Correa's OPS
in the World Series?
Yeah.
Fuck. Go. Oh, there it is. 478.
All right, double that.
He hit a home run.
Yeah, he just hit a 2-run homer.
Oh, so this game's over.
Yeah, it's not over, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, it's over. Oof. Is what's his face still in the? Joe Ross is still pitching with his 6.35 ERA.
I can't imagine. He might close out this inning. I can't imagine he goes back out there. I mean, he is only at 65 pitches, but at the same time, what's the ceiling that you're going to get with him?
I think this is both the ceiling and the floor.
Honestly, I'm kind of agreeing with you. Expectations were low.
Yeah, and he met them explicitly.
Like if you had to tell me to guess how many runs he would give up, 4 probably would have been the sweet spot between like an excellent game and a terrible game for him. So
yeah. I think if you told me, or Joe Ross is going to come in and go 4 runs. My only follow-up question would be like, all right, how many
get
innings?
out of the first inning?
Yeah, exactly. 4 runs over 7? Wow, that's a great start.
Yeah.
4 runs over 2? Ooh. Ooh.
He got 4 runs over 4. So
4 runs over 4, you go, all right.
Solid 9 ERA. Worse than Verlander.
Well, he tried his best.
He did exactly what everyone thought was what he was gonna do.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, we can stop talking about Ryan Zimmerman. I don't have what to say.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like there's much left to this conversation.
I do want to bring up one final thing. So Houston Astros batting in the ALCS, a team OPS of 600. As of tonight, Houston Astros batting in the World Series, OPS of 825.
Well, I would say as of before the game tonight.
Yes. All these stats are as of, I guess, after game 4. These do not include game 5, which will be concluded at the end of this episode or the release of this episode.
Honestly, probably by the end of this episode, it's going to be pretty decisive.
Yeah. Nationals batting in the NLCS, 741. Nationals batting in the World Series, 749. So they're actually doing better.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the Nationals are actually, 8 points, which is negligible at best, but 4 games for the NLCS, 4 games for the World Series as far. They performed on par with what they did in the NLCS. Granted, their problem has been their pitching now.
Yeah.
Because their pitching shut the Cardinals the fuck down. But outside of everything but runs, and if you want to stretch, the game 2's runs over to game 3 and 4 to help that look a little bit better in terms of just general run production, they've been about the same. The difference has been, as it always seems to be, the pitching.
Yep, we'll see what happens there in game 6 and possibly game 7.
Yeah, and I think this is probably what everyone, including us, we're talking about when it's like, the AL team's probably going to win over the NL team, because batting is batting, and every team in the World Series is usually good at batting. The Yankees were really good at batting. The Astros are really good at batting. The Nationals are better than average to really good at batting. I'm not going to say they're on the same level as the Yankees and Astros, just because those teams are ridiculous, but they're really good at batting. The problem is that after the big 3 starting pitchers for the Nationals, Corbin, who didn't even play that well, there's not a lot of pitching. There's not a lot of bullpen. There's not anything that they can really do for matchups. They're not an analytics organization at all. So they don't really have the top of the order for the Astros does really poorly against this certain type of movement on a slider, low and away, or the bottom of the order you can just feed fastballs to high and away and they'll swing. They don't have that. They go a lot on scouting, and so they don't match up well. And they have not matched up well against the very analytic Houston Astros. So
it's funny how we've seen how effective analytics have been with baseball this past 5 years, let's say, with analytics focused teams absolutely dominating like the Astros are. And there's still some teams that are just I'm not sold. I don't see it. I'm going to trust this, really old pitcher who knows tradition, or really old scout who knows tradition and knows what our guys, what our team's kind of guys are like.
When you said our guys, I got a hatred chill. I was like, oh, fuck that shit.
It's so bad.
Fuck your guys. They all suck. I like computers. So anything you want to look for in these last moments of the World Series?
I want to see Juan Soto just tear it up, just because I love him so much. If the Nationals end up losing, if there could be the silver lining of, wow, Juan Soto has really, really shown up, and just he's going to be a superstar for them in the coming years, that's a win. You'll take it at this point, especially with how things kind of have been shaping up for them in this series.
Yeah, if you're a Nationals fan, you have to feel good about Juan Soto. You got to feel good about, even though Scherzer didn't pitch tonight because he's hurt, you still got to feel good about how he's played. And you got to feel good about how Strasburg's played, even though you're probably going to lose Strasburg in the offseason. Sorry. But, bullpen can be tough to fix and it can be easy to fix. Depends on what route you go. And if you're a Nationals fan, I think even if you lose this series, you have to feel good about how your team has played. And knowing it can only, I think it will probably also be good next season, depending on what they do with their starting pitching after Strasburg leaves. But that's that. I want to see more triples.
Yeah. I mean, has there been a triple yet?
Yeah, Victor Robles hit one on Saturday. Okay. And I saw it and I was like, oh shit. That's super fun. Do more of that.
I watched the full game on Saturday and I just do not remember it all. So maybe I have a drinking problem.
The craziest part is he hit it to left field.
I'm assuming he's I assume he bats right or bats left and it's just a pull hitter.
No. The crazy thing about hitting a triple to left field is that getting the ball from the left fielder's hands to the third baseman's hands is not a far throw.
That just did not click for me in any capacity.
Yeah. So it's like you got to be moving to get a triple on the left field. So yeah, I'm on more triples. Yeah. That's my New Year's resolution.
I will not complain if there are more triples to be hit.
Would you take a reduction in home runs for an increase in triples?
Yeah, just because I think triples are more exciting.
I think so too.
Don't think it used to be that way, but at the same time, it's gotten to the point where it's like, oh, home run, fuck, all right, or yay, all right. Triples like, ooh, what are they going to do with this? Is it going to be wasted? That was a really cool play. He's so fast. Oh my God. And then there's always, can he please steal home?
Oh,
if I could see someone steal home live, that'll be my career. I'll retire from baseball.
In the World Series.
That's a very low bar, just to let everyone know, giving up on baseball because I see one specific play. But at the same time, that's a bucket list item.
I agree. I want that too. That'd be great.
All right, Juan Soto's up. Let's get him on third base. Let's get a triple. Let's bring in a run. Juan, I know you're listening to this live. Just do it for us.
So real quick, Corwin, do you recall, just mentioning home runs, do you recall when we were talking about the ball flying? Is the ball different? Is this just weather related? That shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
What the number of home runs needing to be hit in the postseason was to match percentage wise with last year.
Okay.
Do you remember
specifics? No.
If I recall correctly, it was 87.5. So we said like 87.
So it probably wasn't 87.5, but we'll go with it.
No, I think like the number was 87.5. So we said like either 87 or 88 we'll take.
Okay.
Like that would achieve the same percent of home runs hit in October versus September as it was in 2018.
Right.
Do you know
I'm just saying, like, if one of us, like, if we have to rely on just purely on one of our memories, we're just going to get it wrong, is what my assumption was. But yeah,
I'm gonna say I'm right. Because why not? How many home runs do you think have now been hit in October as of Saturday night conclusion? So not counting today's game.
I'm gonna say 78, 79,
84.
Oh wow. Okay, so we're close.
Counting tonight, it's going to be 86.
Yeah, 2 tonight so far. Let's cross our fingers at Juan Soto.
Wrong Soto.
Oh, damn. I just got so excited. Damn it. As soon as I said that, he swung and he didn't quite barrel the ball, but it looked real good coming off the bat. But nope. Sorry to get everyone's hopes up after they know the outcome of this game.
But yeah, so after tonight, it will be at minimum 86, which means we only need one more home run hit in the inevitable game 6, because that has to happen in order for us to have the same percent of home. So what this discussion was, in case you didn't listen to the episode, is that we took the total number of home runs hit in September, the total number of home runs hit in October, and looked at what percent.
2 years.
Yes, for the past 2 years, to see what percent of home runs hit in October, what the total number of home runs hit in October was as a percent of the home runs hit in September, because you expect there to be there's going to be fewer because there's fewer teams playing, there's fewer games to be played, and we wanted to see if the ball got changed coming into this season, because that was the discussion point. So if it was, then you would expect the percent of October home runs via September to drop precipitously instead of as compared to 2018, because there's people have been claiming that the ball is different, and yet it's appearing as though that percent's going to be exactly the fucking same.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
I
is
feel
annoying.
vindicated.
Vindication.
Damn right. You want to talk about the relievers of the year?
Yeah, let's do it. You got one of your guys. I got one of my guys.
All right, now why do you get a
nicely.
claim? Why do you get a claim, Josh Hader?
Because I've been jerking off. What's up?
Him and I share a name.
Why? Because you clearly have a Aroldis Chapman, and I've been jerking off Josh Hader for like 2 years.
Yeah, but I have a Brewers hat.
You do have a Brewers hat. You got me there.
Yeah, where's all your Brewers hats?
The
Brewers hat store.
Throw some money in my bank account. I'll go buy a Brewers hat.
Throw some money in my bank account, bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Josh Hader should have won it. He has a losing record in the regular season this year, Corwin. I mean, he's 3-5. Like, you can't win reliever of the year like
Shut
that.
the fuck up. God damn it. Rick Porcello winning the Cy Young all over again. This is bullshit.
All right, so Josh Hader has in the 2019, he had a 2.62 ERA in 61 games played. He had 37 saves, 75.2 innings pitched. He got 138 strikeouts and a whip of 0.806.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He was also an all-star this year. Yeah. That's pretty fucking good in my mind.
Probably, if I had to pitch or if I had to hit against any pitcher, he would probably top the list of guys I would least want to face.
He also finished the year with 2.6 wins above replacement.
Doesn't seem like much.
It's a lot for relief pitchers. Relief pitchers is much lower bar.
That's true. We did talk about that.
Yeah, because Mariano Rivera's career WAR is like 56.
Yeah, which is, very much not high for being the best player at a position handedly.
Yeah, but it's just because, you only throw like an inning or two at a time every now and then. But, oh well.
Oh, God, that was a noise that I regret emitting from my body, but Aaron Rodgers almost just threw a disgustingly dirty pick.
Oh, I'm so glad he didn't, because I started him this week, and I should have started Drew Brees, but I was like, no, his thumb hurts. He's not going to throw the ball well, and then he did, because I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, Aroldis Chapman won it for the American League. He finished the year with a 2.21 ERA in 60 games. He had 37 saves in 57 innings pitched. He had 85 strikeouts and a whip of 1.105, good for a wins above replacement of 1.5.
Also, pretty good at baseball.
Yeah, pretty good.
Aroldis
Chapman's walks a lot of people every now and then. Like, he'll get into a weird thing because, like, his fastball...
He's literally throwing it so hard that it's hard to have pinpoint accuracy all the time.
Yeah, I'd say that's about what it is. And then he has a slider he works with a lot now, but sliders thrown for strikes can sometimes be dangerous. Anyone you would have seen? Who were the other contestants for this award? Anyone else you think would have been more deserving over these people?
I wouldn't say more deserving. Kirby Yates was probably in consideration. Closer for the Padres. Definitely wasn't anyone on the Pirates. I don't know.
Who are the Pirates?
Yeah, exactly. Was that a joke or
is that a baseball team?
Yeah, no, that's very true. They should not exist.
So there is contention with the American League winner being Aroldis Chapman. The other two finalists were Liam Hendricks of the Athletics and Roberto Osuna of the Astros. We'll take these one at a time. Start with Liam Hendricks. He had a ERA this year of 1.8, which as compared to Aroldis Chapman's 2.21, so it was lower. He had a 0.96 whip, which was also lower than Aroldis Chapman's at 1.105. He had 125 strikeouts, which is more than Aroldis Chapman. He only had 85, and he threw 85 innings, which is also more than Aroldis Chapman's 57. So that, was and 25 saves, which is less than Aroldis Chapman, but that's
by a decent margin.
Yeah, but that's also just like it's the pitcher wins of relief pitchers. It's so
right.
Well, all right.
I feel like it's a bit more just because it just comes down to like it's not about run support. It's not about holding off. Well, actually, it is holding off other runs, but like it's more comes down to all right. What can you do for me right now? Like, can you just post a clean inning?
Yeah. It's tough.
I'm not saying it's a crazy important one. I'm just saying it's worth more than a starter's win.
No, I think you're right. You convinced me almost immediately after you started talking.
Which almost never happens.
Do you think it's enough to outweigh those stat differentials though? Because on the surface, Hendricks' season was just so much better.
Oh yeah, I probably would have voted for Hendricks in the end. Just better on pretty much every aspect outside of saves. I think it comes down to the fact that one plays for the Yankees and one plays for the A's, and it's just.
Let's move back to that in a second. Let me read Osuna's.
Okay.
He finished the season with a 2.63 ERA, a 0.88 WHIP, a 73 strikeouts in 65 innings, and I think he had 38 saves. It doesn't actually say it there.
Did.
Yeah? Okay. So pretty much on par with Aroldis Chapman. His ERA was actually higher than Chapman's. His strikeouts were fewer than Chapman's. His innings were more than Chapman's, and saves were about the same. He finished with one more. So I think you could call that one a push. And I think
I don't know why. I mean, I get why he was a finalist, but I would put Chapman a tier above Ozuna. I mean, he had 73 strikeouts in 65 innings, and as a reliever of the year candidate, that's just not quite up to par. I mean, the WHIP's fantastic. The ERA is very good, but I think Chapman is still a tier above.
I do too. Or at least you can say that they're similar enough that's not an interesting conversation.
Right.
Especially because no one likes Osuna. And that might sound petty.
We know one person that likes Osuna.
Oh, he got fired. I'm not saying that we caused that, but
No, I want to put that on my resume. I'm going to take that one. If you don't mind, I'm going to take it.
I really think that could also be a viable factor. Like he is a very unlikable, very controversial figure because of the shit he did, granted in 2018, but still, I mean, he's still a very, very polarizing person in the life and times of the MLB. And if you have a statistically carbon copy of him in Aroldis Chapman playing for also a big market team and a very famous franchise and blah, 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 then why wouldn't you just pick Chapman? So I think you can write Osuna off in this competition altogether because fuck him,
Yeah, fuck him. Because fuck him, that's why.
So, but yeah, if it came down to Hendricks or Chapman, I probably would have voted for Hendricks too.
I would have, yeah.
I guess that they just value saves that much more.
Yeah, which is, an argument in its own, like we just discussed, but it's just the way it is.
Yes, sir. For the National League, there was Josh Hader. We read his stats already. Also in the running was Kirby Yates. He hit 41 saves. He led the MLB in ERA with a minimum of 20 innings with 1.19 and finished third in strikeout rate at 41.6, although it doesn't tell me what his actual stats were, which tells me some of them weren't as great.
He had a 41.6% strikeout rate and a 1.19 ERA.
Is that not what I said?
I thought you did, but then at the same time, you just said you didn't have the stats, so I didn't know what exactly you were looking at.
I was looking for strikeouts. 101.
Actual strikeouts. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he had 101 strikeouts, and he didn't have any innings he pitched either, which is 60.2.
So annoying.
Yeah, right. Like the
Everyone
rates are
else
really
has
cool, but
very specific information in all of their little blurbs, and this guy's just, we'll be different.
Yeah, fuck yourself. This is an amazing season.
Oh, absolutely.
This is an amazing, led baseball in ERA. Granted, 20 innings pitched is not a big threshold, but 1.19 ERA is fucking awesome. 41 saves is huge. 101 strikeouts in 60 innings is real fucking good. It's 2 strikeouts per inning, just about. Like that's an awesome season. I'm kind of hold on. I want to see who the other candidate was.
Will Smith for the Giants.
Will Smith. Yeah. He had a 2.76 ERA, a 1.03 WHIP, 96 strikeouts in 65 and 1/3 innings. Not in the same conversation as the other two, I don't think.
I think this is the same scenario where this is just a clear-cut number 3 guy, and he's there just because they need a third guy.
Yeah, I think that's a fair summation. Ooh, I'm actually kind of conflicted about who I would have picked for this. So
I think it comes down to whether or not you prefer strikeout rate or ERA. I mean, the WHIP is nearly identical. It's a 2.62 ERA versus a 1.19, and it's a 41.6 strikeout rate versus a 47.8, which is 4th highest in history for a single season.
And 37 saves to 41 saves, which I
think that's a push. Difference.
Yeah. In my mind, it was larger than it was.
When it's like 25 to like 35, whatever it was, that's okay. 10 is a pretty decent margin, but 4 or 5 is, it's a push.
Yeah. Why do you think they gave it to Hader?
He's flashier, I'd say.
You think?
Yeah, and I feel like Hader's comes back to the marketability factor. MLB's had that issue for a long time, and I think Josh Hader, the long-haired, flamethrower who is one of the best relievers at this point in his career of all time, versus Kirby Yates, who kind of had a breakout season and nobody really knows who he is or really watched much of the Padres this year.
I think the MLB just hates the Padres.
I mean, that's a whole nother argument that I don't disagree with. I think
the Padres were like, we have a young team. Kirby Yates is going to win reliever of the year. Like, things are really cool. And then MLB just dropped their pants and took a hot, wet deuce and was like, Josh Hader wins. And the Padres were like,
come when you said that?
No, I was me pooping. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a difference?
Barely. Yeah. They're supposed to both be white, right?
Yeah, Jesus fuck.
You tell me about Tiger Woods.
Yeah, so Tiger Woods won a, very not. Let me start over. Tiger Woods won today. It was his 82nd career PGA Tour win, which tied him for most in PGA Tour history with Sam Snead. This is it's not a huge win in and of itself, but for his career, this is a huge milestone for him, especially considering how far back he's had to come from all of his back injuries and time off and whatnot. So it's really cool to see Tiger tie that record. It's extremely likely he breaks it and is able to pull away on his own next year. But I mean, I love Tiger. A lot of people who grew up watching golf do, just because he's like the Babe Ruth of golf. Like he's just so fucking good and always has been. Quote unquote, always has been. So it's pretty cool. This also was his 14th wire-to-wire win in his career, which basically means after the first round he leads and never gives up that lead, till completion. which is more than double any other player, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. Golf's a fun sport to watch when you just want to have something on in the background all day and just kind of like loosely follow it. Like
Speaking
baseball.
of sports we don't usually talk about, I have one basketball topic for us.
Ooh, basketball. I'm excited.
So the other day, Russell Westbrook passed Magic Johnson for most triple-doubles in NBA history with 139.
Yeah, that's
beating,
pretty huge.
Magic Johnson's 138. There are only 4 basketball players with more than 100 career triple-doubles.
Oh, man.
I'm not going to ask you their names.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Magic, Westbrook,
Yep.
I want to say like Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, number 1 by so much.
Yeah. Man, who would be the 4th? I don't know. Give it to me.
Jason Kidd.
Oh, that would have been a good one. I never would have guessed that in a million years, but yeah, that's, should be expected. I've really gotten a lot more into basketball so far this season than I have before. And I think it's just because my roommate always has it on and playing fantasy has helped grow my knowledge of it. But it's for the first time, it seems to be an exciting sport that I don't just follow the wild free agency and off the court stuff like I have in the past. So.
I got excited looking at stats about it today, but I still haven't yet to sit down and enjoy a game in a while.
Yeah. I feel like it's something we probably will touch on, especially once, baseball and football starts to wrap up. We'll have Dan on at some point because he's big on basketball, and we'll see. Maybe Ethan will want to talk about it. But yeah.
Yeah, there's just really, I don't know, it really hit me how hard it must be to get a triple-double, which, of course, it's hard to, but the fact that LeBron James is number 5 on this list, all right, and he has 81 triple-doubles in his career, okay? Oscar Robertson has 181 in his career.
Which is fucking crazy.
How many games do you think LeBron James has played?
I do not even know where to begin to guess.
1,200.
That's a lot of games, and he has 83 of them with a triple. 81, sorry.
And so if you think about, like, all right, triple-doubles are hard. Let's say you get one every 10 games. He's not even at that pace. That'll be 120. No. He's getting one every, like, what is that, like 13-ish games or so?
Wouldn't it be more than the 80? No, that's right. I don't know why. That seems like it's really low, like only 13 games per triple-double, but it makes sense.
14.8, so 15 games. But yeah, I don't know. It's really, it has to be a skill. Like, I mean, obviously it is a skill, or maybe it's an indication of roundness as a player, because Oscar Robertson has 1,040 games played, and then Russell Westbrook, who just passed Magic Johnson, has 823 games played.
Yeah. I mean, people give Russell Westbrook a lot of shit for like orchestrating his triple doubles, where like if it's a clear, defensive rebound, all the other players on the team will kind of clear out of the way and let Russell get it. Or like at the end of games where he's close, guys will go out of their way to like give him rebounds or work with him to get assists and stuff like that. So like people criticize it, but at the end of the day, he's still out there doing it.
Yeah, the man's still getting it done. I don't
so
know.
Maybe it'll be one of those things where it's like a tiny little asterisk where it's like, well, I mean, he had some help, but at the same time, it's not like anyone else is close.
Wasn't there a year where he had like a ridiculous amount of them?
Yeah, I think he had like fucking 30 of them, something like that. 40 of them.
Didn't he have like 20 of them in a row or some shit like that?
That was James Harden, I think.
Was it? I thought they both did it.
Now I gotta look it up because this will drive me nuts if I don't know.
Sorry.
Most triple doubles in a single season
on his basketball reference page, but they don't actually have
it. So he had 42 in one season, 2016, 2017, which beat Oscar Robertson by 1. And then last year he had 34, which was good for third most all time.
It's so fucking awesome.
So he's in the top 10 3 times at number 1, number 3, and at number 7 with 25. James Harden is the only other active player in there with 22 in a season.
That's so stupid. That's awesome.
Most triple doubles in a row is 11. 11 straight games with a triple double.
Who's that?
One guess.
Is it Russell Westbrook?
It is.
Yeah, that makes sense. That must be what I was thinking of then.
Yeah, here's what it is.
Real quick, there's one other thing I found perusing Basketball Reference, and then we can end the show.
Sure.
Most 50-point games.
Wilt Chamberlain.
All right. How many do you think he has?
Fucking a stupid number.
Give me a guess.
I'll guess 50. 50-point games, because that's going to be absolutely insanely high.
50 would put him in first place. Number 2 is Michael Jordan with 31.
Oh,
so
God.
50 would put Wilt Chamberlain, but that's not enough for Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain has 118 50-point games.
Oh, God. That is such a ridiculous number.
That's a season and a half.
Oh, fuck me.
That's a season and a half.
There's like 5 dudes a season who have a single game like that. And like we may get lucky and have 2 by the same guy. Like I think last year.
LeBron has 12.
Oh, God, that's fucking insane.
Kareem had 10. Kobe had 25. Harden has 18. Like,
so
Harden needs 100 more to tie Wilt Chamberlain.
I know that I don't watch enough basketball to put a lot of stake to this claim, but people fucking forget how absolutely insane Wilt Chamberlain was. Like, if you go back and watch highlights from back in the day when there's like serious grain from the film, he is like an alien on the court with these other people.
There's one real quick thing I want to share that I learned from Wilt Chamberlain's. Actually, sorry, no, I lied. There's 2 quick things I want to share that I learned from Wilt Chamberlain's Basketball Reference page. The first is his nicknames, because his nicknames are amazing. Wilt the Stilt, the Big Dipper, Dippy, Dip, the Load, Big Musty, the Record Book.
That's fucking insane.
The Load, Big Musty. Oh, beautiful nicknames. The second thing is there was a point in time that Philadelphia had 2 basketball teams. The 76ers.
Oh, God.
I
know this. Fuck. The Philadelphia. I'm going to lose it.
Warriors.
Fuck. Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that they started in Philly.
Because isn't that who Wilt played for?
Yeah, he played for the
Philly Warriors.
He played for the Philadelphia Warriors. Then the Warriors moved to San Francisco, and so he played for the San Francisco Warriors. Then he got traded back to Philadelphia to play for the 76ers, and then he became a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. So he spent his whole career on the coasts.
That's pretty cool.
And then another thing I learned, just real quick, because I have to share, it's up in my mind. Where did the Sacramento Kings franchise start?
Sacramento Kings?
Yeah.
Alberta.
No, it's still in the U.S.
Fucking, I don't know, man.
Cincinnati.
The Cincinnati Kings?
No,
the king of
the Cincinnati Royals.
What?
They start off as the Cincinnati Royals, and then they moved to Kansas City, Omaha, and they became not Wilt Chamberlain. Oscar Robertson played for the Cincinnati Royals, and I was so confused looking at his page. I was like, "Who the fuck are the Cincinnati Royals?" And so in 1948, they were the Rochester Royals in Rochester, New York. Then in 57, they moved to Cincinnati. Yeah, right. Shocking. And then they were the Cincinnati Royals until 72, where they became the Kansas City Omaha Kings. And then in 75, they dropped the Omaha, and they were just the Kansas City Kings. And then in 85, they moved to Sacramento, where they've been ever since, and they're the Sacramento Kings. But how weird is that?
That's pretty cool.
Those 3 cities still don't have basketball teams. Rochester, Cincinnati,
we know
and Kansas
why
City.
Rochester doesn't. Kansas City probably could have supported. I don't know.
They could try.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma City's right there, but whatever, man.
OKC. Yeah, that's all I got. Anything else for you before we jump out of here?
Anything major happened in the NFL today? The 49ers look unbeatable.
Yeah, 50 points. Jesus Christ.
They still have so many injuries, too.
And it's not going to stop them.
No. Fuck. Kyle Shanahan, man. I'm finally feeling vindicated for standing by him for so long. I love that, man.
Yeah. Tevin Coleman was a great start for me this week.
Yeah, great fucking show on my bench today.
I'm going to win my fourth game straight to even out my record.
Is this our ESPN league?
Yeah. Yeah, I started 0-4 and about to win my fourth straight because
pretty dope.
Football's stupid.
I have been shooting myself in the foot every week with starting a quarterback, but I'm still somehow 6-1. I guess soon to be 7-1. I honestly, at this point, I think I'm just gonna have to drop every quarterback from my team and just pick one and just say fuck it, because I am just so bad at fantasy. Apparently, at making these decisions.
You're not a QB whisperer, Corwin.
No, I am not Bruce Arians. That'd be nice though. I wouldn't mind being him.
All right, shall we get out of here?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, if you want to hit us up on Twitter, you can do so at JuicingPod. If you want to hit us up via email, you can do so at juicingthenumbers@gmail.com. And if you want to find show notes for this episode and all previous episodes, you can do so at juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website, juicingthenumbers.wixsite.com/website. And until Thursday, y'all have a good one.
See ya.